All right, so Tin Man by America. This is another Dewey Bunnell song. Bunnell, I'm never sure how to pronounce that. Anyways, this was off their 1974 holiday album. And this was the first album produced by George Martin. And I was reading an article with Dewey Bunnell, and he was saying that their previous album they produced themselves. And it took them like 3 months to do. And they were kind of, staying up all hours, and they're kind of all over the map on it. And they got in touch with George Martin to produce the next one. And he said that, he'd like to do it, but he only had a month available. And they would have to go to his studio in London, Air Studios. So they flew there, and he put them on a schedule, like he did with the Beatles, right? It was always very regimented. They were like really hard-working band, really hard-working producer. Anyways, they had the whole album recorded in 16 days, which is pretty amazing, right? Anyways, so this one is in the key of G, and there's not that many chords. It's not that tough to play, and the secret of it really is that voicing of the G major 7. Okay, that comes into play. Throughout the song. But we'll start with the beginning, and what we've got here all that is it's like a C over a D bass to a D7. So we're going to bar here on the B and the E strings on the 3rd fret, and put your finger here, 3rd finger at G5 and little finger at B5. Okay, and the strumming is just down, up, down, up, down. And then just move your little finger up to the E string on the 5th fret. Right? That's it. That's the beginning. Now there's 2 guitars throughout the whole thing. They're both doing things a little bit differently. The first guitar is really basic. It's just... And the other guitar kind of spices it up a bit. Right, just adds a few notes. So you can, do whatever you want. And the bass in the song is so good, right? The bass kind of carries the song for me. Some really nice playing in there. So coming out of that, we're into the main part, which is that G major 7, just that form, right? D5, G4, B3, and E2. And we're going to do this. Okay, so the strumming on that is down, up, down, up, up, down. Now that last one is always a bit different. So sometimes he'll go, and other times he'll go, right? Sometimes he'll go, right? So you kind of have to get in the feel of it, right? And just do whatever feels good there, because it won't matter which one of those variations you use. So just it's kind of a feel thing. So that's the first chord. Then we're going to go to this chord, which looks like a G6, but since the bass is playing a C, it's a C major 7, but that voicing, right? And we want to mute out that A string with the tip of the 3rd finger. And depending on how accurate you are with your strumming, you want to mute out that E string too. And the highest note really you want to hear there is that note, the E note on B5. So... And if you want to do it that way, that's fine, right? Whatever way you want to do it. If you watch the videos, you can see him fingering it that way. And that's the verse. Okay, so the chorus now is going to come up and do this. And it's just same formation, right? C major 7 starting on D10, and it's the strumming is. And then da 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 da. So. And it's a feel thing, right? But the kind of groove is. Right? And that chord, you can also voice it there. It'd be like an A minor ninth, right? Because even though we're playing a C major 7, it's A in the bass, right? So it's actually an A minor ninth, that chord. But to all intents and purposes, for us, it's the same voicing as this G major 7, right? C major 7 voicing, A in the bass, right? Okay, so the chorus would be. Back to the intro. Okay, and then we just repeat. And that's really all there is to this song. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 chords. That's this, same, different voicing, same chord, right? And that's it for the rhythm. Okay. And, George Martin is such a good producer. There's so many little cool things going on in this. And when I was learning it, there's a part, well, it's the chorus. There's a little triangle in there, a little like a bell, but I think it's a triangle. It's a little ting, right? And in the chorus, it comes in there and it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and, right? So it comes in on the and of 3. And the next part's the and of 2, a little triangle. And, I've never heard that before until I was learning it for this tutorial. And it's those little things, with producers that, just those little icing on the cake, I guess you'd call it, just little touches that, even though you might not notice it, they're there and they kind of elevate it, Okay, so the only other part in this song is that piano line. And that's George Martin playing that he came up with that line, and he played it on the piano on the recording. And that goes like this. Okay, now there's a lot of different ways you can finger that. I went over a lot of different ways, but I settled on this way, because I think it's the easiest. Okay, so what we're going to do is, it's kind of based around that G or C-shaped G chord, but since it's G major 7, we just lift our little finger. So we want to think that without the little finger there, right? And we've got, that's how we start, B, G, and D string, then pull off from B10 down to B7, so it's, that's the G string, right? Last note. And then we hit the D note here on B10 or E10. Right? And then we go back down here. Right? So we've got those are the notes, but barring here and pulling that off. Okay, and then the next line will be based over that C major 7 or A minor 9, and we're going to go just arpeggios, right? So we're going there, starting from the B note, or the B string. So that's the same configuration, just down a fret and up a string, right? Back to the D note on E10. And then da 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 da. Right? So together we've got okay, and up to speed. Okay, and that's another kind of good example of George's production and his musical ideas. His musicality is just he's a genius, really. Comes up with the greatest parts. Anyways, that's it for this one. Great song, really fun to play. Got that really kind of nice calypso groove. And actually, the drummer on this, Willie Leacox, he was with America for years, basically the whole time. He just retired in 2014. And when I do these demos, I listen to the drums and I try to program them exactly like they are on the record. And that was really a cool drum part. And I've already mentioned the bass. The bass and drums in this just drive the song, because really the the guitar is very sparse, and it's the bass and drums that are really driving it, and the percussion, right? Anyways, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Hope you enjoyed playing the song, and we'll talk to you next time.